I
That'll be
believe I do
interesting.
have everything set up, and if you guys are ready, I'm ready to get things kicked off.
Sure. First question. Where are we leaving ourselves until we start?
Good question. That is going to depend on the task. And for our first task, you are going to be starting in the play game screen. So click play game, that'll get you to the character select. And just wait here while I describe this particular task. Anytime
Right?
a task is something that you're starting from the beginning of the game, this is what we will do. There will be some tasks where we will be starting from a save file I've provided to you guys. Once we are doing that, I'll explain the rules there.
All right.
Okay, so our first task will make full use of the 3D nature of this game and its combat system. So, our first task is titled Rock and Roll. Your goal is to defeat all enemies in a encounter. Um, Dragon Pillar encounter counts, random encounter counts, anything like that. Using only rocks as your offensive actions. So you may throw rocks at your enemies, and nothing else that you do that injures the enemies is allowed to happen. Just rocks. Okay,
So
sound clear?
you said an encounter screen.
Correct. An entire encounter. So all enemies in some encounter screen.
So the dragon pillars would count.
That is correct.
Okay.
All right. We'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I have, I have not done this before, but okay. All
I
right.
honestly
Specify.
hadn't either. And I tested it. You'll see how it goes.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, first things first, I actually need rocks, right?
Yeah, that certainly is a good first step.
Come on, you fool, pick up
Uh,
faster. No, don't touch your boots. Oh my
okay.
gosh,
All
that
right.
is such a pain.
So let's see.
Oh,
That's
the rocks are
one.
gone.
That's what? Okay.
And I'll go ahead and mention you are in fact free to set the difficulty slider whatever you want it to be, except in cases where I specify otherwise. So here, definitely use the lowest difficulty setting. That's going to help. You're probably going to need it.
Mm,
So yeah,
Already
there's a
got that
lot
bad
of
boy
little
strength
things
down.
about this combat engine that are a little bit awkward.
mm.
This was a game engine that was only used for this game and nothing else. It was made in an era where the expectation was that you would be um, playing your action RPG with kind of like tank controls, basically turn left and right with the left and right arrows, walk forward, backwards with forward and back. Thankfully, the developers did have the foresight to make clicking on something work. And you can, in fact, click to try to throw a rock somewhere. Unfortunately, it's kind of tricky to gauge where you need to click to hit a target that's wiggling around all over the place. So,
Just a bit.
yep. So yeah, just the instinctive grab a bunch of rocks, get to an enemy and throw a bunch of rocks by clicking it on the enemy. You're going to need to try something a little bit more involved than that. There are certainly plenty of available tricks you can try to make things go better. You can just try to make yourself be able to survive one way or the other. You can try to figure out better enemies to fight against. You can try to aim your rocks smarter based off of how the enemies you're fighting behave. Okay. Got Lemming back in an encounter. One down.
That's just funny.
There's two.
That's right. Stay put. Hey.
Oh man.
Stop hiding in the
what?
foreground.
If I reload, I can probably...
Oh my goodness.
That's too many.
After a great start, things are slowing down a little bit in Lemming's encounter here.
This one figured out how to dodge slow moving rocks.
Oh.
Yeah, the enemies do deliberately sidestep if they aren't engaged in an action already and they see there's a projectile coming their way. There's a lot of aspects of this game's 3D engine that actually really impress me. Like, whenever the rocks hit the ground, they bounce and then they roll. Think for a moment about how much effort had to be put into something that would basically never be deliberately used. Right?
How dare you dodge that? Okay.
There we go.
Looks like both runners here have arrived at the same conclusion I did, which is that the best bet is to choose an enemy that has a ranged attack. Whenever they stop to do that, that makes them a little easier to hit.
I punched one on accident.
No! Not allowed.
I can't believe I'm leading this like a flight sim. Come on. Where the Rocky's gonna be. Oh gosh. At least you can pick them back up, but it's one at a time.
You know what? I have another idea here.
Picking the rocks back up is actually a little bit tricky whenever there's enemies attacking you. Because you have to complete the pickup animation and get to the bottom of it before the item actually winds up in your inventory.
One down.
Yeah, it helps whenever they're caught on like a rock or whatever, because then they don't sidestep.
I think I've figured out some Uh-oh. Nope.
There's something special about grinding up the art of throwing rocks before game, and then you get the Dragonfire, and he has the most gentle softball to a toddler style approach to rock tossing.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like David has started getting some progress here. I think he's got just one guy left here, although he has run out of rocks and has to go picking up all the scattered pieces before he gets to finish this one off. So Lemming does have a bit of a moment to try to get in there.
Stop it, you.
It's like he doesn't want to have rocks thrown at his face. Can't imagine why not.
Whoa, my gosh, that guy just cheated, frankly. That was an incredible leap. Oh man, I have to visit Salim and sort out healing pills for this. I really don't want to do that. Okay.
David's got one guy left who's one hit away. keeps running off to pick up one rock or two rocks, throwing them,
Oh.
and having to repeat the process.
Oh no!
No, a death. Yeah, David did take the time out to buy some healing pills, which definitely
intelligent.
has its advantages. So yeah, Dave. There we go. I think that's a win for David. About 7 minutes 45 seconds.
Congratulations. I'm gonna try out this battle, and then for the mercy of everyone watching, I'm going to concede.
Yeah, so the tactic it looks like David came to was basically clicking around the feet of the target. If you try to lead your target that way, it kind of works.
Oh, look at that! I think
If
I
you try
did
to
it.
click like on at their torso height, then your click is interpreted as being somewhere kind of in the backdrop, and that doesn't work.
So actually, what I was doing was trying to throw rocks in one direction of them, counting on them to strafe the other way, and then trying to throw rocks
Just going for the
that way.
50-50 that their dodge would be the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like Lemming's done as well.
I
So
did. I was.
yeah, I didn't catch the
mercifully
exact time, but
close. It's fine. It was probably half a minute slower, but
yeah.
I'm
GG.
impressed by how much damage the rocks do. I was not
It
expecting
is
that.
actually pretty nice damage, and they come out fast. But man, is it hard to get them to connect with anything.
A gentle hop to the left, and it's totally a non.
I will point out that your character doesn't get to do that hop to the left. Do kind of wonder
Oh, I think he
about
does.
that
Yeah,
one.
there you go.
Hmm?
Yeah, you can do a little strafe.
Oh,
I've never had to
how do you
use
do
it, but-
that?
I bind them to some keys that were out of the way.
Oh,
but
I didn't
step
even
left,
see
step
that
right.
was in there. Okay. Huh.
Oh yeah, this game is just you learn something new every day.
There are so many weird little things in
Okay,
this.
but strafe and turn at the same time, and you'll see your character just kind of shuffling.
All right. So now that I remember, I'm going to actually add the timer to the screen here, so we can actually have a timer on the stream for the next two by split. There we go. Okay, and put that right along here. Okay, so let's get set up then for our next task. Which one are we going with?
Oh man,
Right.
that first one rocked.
Okay, so this is a task that is going to take exactly 10 minutes because it is a timed task. And the name of this task is side questing. Your goal.
Game is side quests?
Yeah, there are side quests. The main quest of this game, of course, is the rights of rulership. Every time you want to go to the next right of rulership, you wind up visiting the Hall of Kings. In this task, you won't be doing that without ever entering the Hall of Kings. Score as many puzzle points as possible within 10 minutes. You get to choose whichever class you like. I honestly am not sure which class is going to be the best for this, but you've got 10 minutes to do this in. You may set the difficulty slider wherever you like during the course of this particular task. And you will be beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, well, let's just go with what I'm comfortable with,
Okay.
which is killing dudes.
For some reason, David isn't picking up rocks first before killing dudes. Why on earth isn't he doing that? They're awesome weapons. Okay, so the main city of this game is called Silmaria, and you're supposed to be entering the rights of rulership in order to compete to be the next king. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do around town and around the outskirts of town and all that too. And a bunch of them are worth puzzle points, as with many adventure games. And this, very as much as it is an action RPG, it is also the final game of a point-and-click adventure game series. And as you do stuff that the game developers decided constitutes progress for your class specifically, or just in general, you score some points. And we do have a divergence here between which classes are being selected. We've got Lemming doing some thiefy stuff. We've got DavidTKI running around beating up enemies as a fighter. If your class is, well, I think it's called Warrior in this game. They switched it up. Anyway, as that class, you do get points for each unique type of opponent you defeat. There's also a bunch of stuff in the arena. Lemming, meanwhile, is heading over to do some Thieves Guild stuff, disarming some traps and that sort of thing. We're 2 minutes in, 8 minutes to go. Got some shopping going on in David's screen. Depending on which class you are, different consumable items wind up being worth points. The magic user is expected to buy a mana potion, for example. Neither of these players are playing as a wizard, though.
Yeah, I considered the idea that Wizard might be able to get a lot of stuff fast, but didn't do it.
Yeah, one way or the other, the class-specific side questing points do come out to the same amount by the end, but different classes will be blocked in what they can do without starting rights of rulership, right? I think the whole chief thief thing is worth some points, and you certainly can't complete that without the rights of rulership beginning. You're not going to learn some of the spells without progressing the plot. If you're a magic user, that sort of thing. You're not going to complete the Ring of Kings if you decided to start as a paladin, although I don't think I would have allowed that in this one. Trouble with the paladin is you have to technically be using an import file. The game does come with a paladin import file, but you have to be sure you're using that one and not something else. Okay, we're 4 minutes in, 40% through the challenge, and got a lot of running around town, a lot of doing various things.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. Start whatever I can. I set myself up for continuing to go until we hit time. Do I get points for the sheet? I don't know. But it's there. And the mystic magnets are set up so that I can actually teleport back once I finish the business that I have.
I feel like I need to sign the logbook even if I lose.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just seems like a requirement.
A classic from the series.
Something
Yeah,
I've
don't
never
need you
ever
guys,
done in
then.
the past 2 years of running these games.
I did it habitually because it's a 100% requirement. Oh,
As it
this
should
is
be.
convenient.
Yeah, the baddies are kind of they te- they tend to take a while to actually show up on screen. I find you can encounter them pretty reliably if you head to the dragon
Dragon
pool.
Cave.
Yeah, but they're like way the heck over to the right side, and it takes like a minute for them to show up. The overworld screen is sometimes a little bit on the glitchy side in this game. We do have David's walking animation, just kind of gliding in place. That is a common one. I have occasionally had a
I
thing
got
where
it too.
like
That's new.
the
New for me.
character refuses to move right until they go back into a battle or whatever. Kind of strange. Yeah, a bunch of gliding. Okay, we're approaching the 7-minute mark, so you guys have 3 minutes left to find more tasks to complete, more points to gain.
I hope I have not messed myself up here by not having any rocks.
David is done with
Based on
rocks.
that comment,
Even
I'm
when he
glad that
goes
we
to
at
a
least have
place
the
where he's
same
supposed to
motivation
have
visit
them,
the
he's like,
out of the way
nope.
spot.
Rock? Rock? Come on. Can I knock that thing down with Force Bolt? I'm gonna be mad if I can't.
And of course, since you're near a bunch of mountainous terrain, there are no rocks to be had. Why would there be?
Okay, you know what? It's not worth doing. There's only two reasons.
Okay.
I'm not nervous going to mess this up, so we're going to save. Even though this really should not be an issue.
David's getting the rather slow receiving the reinforced sheet animation after returning home.
But I did get points for it.
Oh, okay. It's actually kind of hard to remember what all's worth points in this game because oftentimes you're doing something because it's a prerequisite for an important other task.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of them seem to be on a delay. Like you'll get this when you do a good job later.
Okay, both of them have returned back to town after spending some time at the Hippocrene River.
I'm not gonna have time to do anything with the jalapeno.
Well, you've got 1 minute, so whatever you can achieve in that period of time.
Talk to FA then, I guess.
I don't know
That's
if I'll
about
make it.
Okay, so once we hit 10 minutes, at that point, you guys will halt whatever it is you're doing, and then you will bring up the score listing, which is on the character sheet. A button on the bottom there takes you to the score.
What will win, crime or murder?
15 seconds. What can I reach in 15 seconds?
Oh my
10,
god, the FA's still
9,
sleeping.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Go to the character sheet and hit that score button. Let's see what we got. We've got 130 puzzle points for Lemming, 165 puzzle points for DavidTKI. So that is a second victory now for David. Congratulations.
Congratulations to murder.
I am surprised that neither of you chose to enter the rights of rulership.
I
The
did.
restriction was on entering the Hall of Kings. So
Yeah, I
you
got
could
that one there, I
have
think. I
gotten a
don't know how
fair
much it
number of
is, though.
points for entering. Oh, you did? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
I was expecting
yeah,
that
but
was
that
going to be
costs
worth
money.
like a huge amount, but I don't actually know the relative point values of anything on this.
Yeah, it only occurred to me toward the end that I could probably get a lot of points off of Science Island, but
Mhm.
I didn't
I
make it
intended to
there.
wrap up there, but 10 minutes is surprisingly not a lot of time. So
Yeah.
should have probably skipped the Pegasus and gone to that. Next time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty
Pegasus
long
was a
trip to
bad
get to
call.
the north end of the island. Okay, so let's update the score. David won the first two, so go ahead and do that. And we are now done side questing for the moment. Let's go ahead and shift gears. We're going to do a main quest. So after skirting the issue of entering the rights of rulership, this next task, which is our first task that is going to be starting from a save file I've provided you with, is a task which is titled Atsamore. And you will be, once I start the task, you will hit load game, and you'll immediately find yourself with a save file that has just logically done the sensible thing and invested nearly all of its cash in pizzas. Why did it do that, you may ask? Well, for the purposes of this task, I'm going to be defining an action, and I'm doing air quotes here, so imagine me doing air quotes. An action in this game is swinging a weapon, equipping something, using an item, doing some interaction that causes a dialogue tree selection to pop up. So if you're talking to someone, if you're buying an item, if you do that as kind of one series of events, that's one action. Now, why do you care about actions? Because in this task, these actions are going to be hitting you in the eye like a huge pizza pie, as you are required to have every other action you take be throw a pizza. Okay?
Okay.
So, you swing
okay.
your sword, you throw a pizza. You eat some food, you throw a pizza. You talk to a merchant, you throw a pizza. You enter the rights of rulership, you throw a pizza. You eat a pizza, you throw a pizza. Okay? So, with that stipulation in mind, your goal is to complete the right of freedom. That's it. Complete the right of freedom. Every other action is throwing a pizza.
Have we started the rights yet?
This save file is nearly broke and has not yet entered the rights of rulership. You will have to acquire some cash. All right. Any other questions before we begin?
More of a
Oh my
comment. I've noticed that your other two saves were made today. You've had this pizza save file since April.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one for a little while.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so complete the right of freedom. Okay. Oh my. How am I gonna do this?
Carefully
Hopefully this Ross
and
might have the
messily. All right. Well, you'll have to figure out whatever it is because we're going to begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go.
Okay.
Oh my god! There's
And your inventory bar, of course, has all the important
So,
things on it.
60.
60
No magic.
pizzas. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, I opened my inventory. Does that count?
Oh, okay. Mercifully, Crow gave us an appropriate amount of lockpicking. I am over encumbered with pizza. I've noticed that right away.
I have no magic.
No,
Okay.
actually, you're not over encumbered. There's a different source of health drain happening to you right now.
Okay, wait. So does resting mean I have to throw a pizza?
Oh, right. That was in my notes and I forgot to mention it. Since I forgot to mention it, I'm going to say no. The original intention was yes, but I guess you've already done it. It makes perfect sense. So, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so oh wait, but does this mean I have to buy more pizzas if I'm getting low?
Oh yes,
Yes,
and
it
that
does.
constitutes an action. So you better throw a pizza before and after.
Mhm. Okay, remind me what all constitutes an action again. So talking
Okay.
to someone, swinging a weapon, casting a spell. Okay, I don't have magic.
Yeah, if you are using an item, that also counts. Basically, anything that involves popping up a dialogue tree. So
Okay.
if you interact with a door and it pops up, open door, knock on door, that sort of thing, that's an action. Whereas if you click on a door and you just walk through it, that's not an action. All right, we've got a scene of a crime here, getting splattered by some pizza. If you're one of the other classes in the game, then eventually the bank robbery happens and the robber leaves an interesting toolkit behind. In this case, the robber is just leaving a bunch of pizzas around.
I'm like so out of sorts. I forgot how to do this properly.
65,
Okay. RSM. All right.
81,
SMT. All right.
65. Ah, shoot.
Okay, we got some dancing man stuff going on here. This is the trap mechanism. And you know what? It just occurred to me, I didn't actually open my Twitch chat, so I have no idea if people have been asking any questions. So if anyone is watching, go ahead and re-ask now, and I now actually have Twitch chat open. Oh, wow, lots of people have been talking. Okay. Okay, yeah.
I've lost
Okay.
honor from wasting so much
So,
pizza.
yeah, it looks like there were a lot of questions about what would and would not make sense with the previous task. But I see your questions now if you have any more. Okay, so we have someone talking to okay, we got someone buying some pizzas, which of course requires throwing a pizza because
Oh, wait. I got to throw
is
for
an
buying
action.
the right. Okay, there we go.
Can't forget about throwing pizzas so you can buy
All right,
pizzas.
first impression to Chakra.
Oh, I talked to the guy.
Pizza just splattered on the ledge there. This game has surprisingly large amount of detail in terms of getting the 2D drawn backgrounds to actually have real 3D
I probably should have actually bought
geometry.
some pills instead of spending it on food.
Oh, right.
You
pills.
probably should have spared a little bit. Yes, I would think that would make some sense. Okay, and by the way, there is some dialogue that pops up and one where you have to click OK, so that will count as an action whenever you go into the Hall of Kings.
Oh.
Just periodic splat noises. I want your medicine. Splat.
Thanks. Have a pizza.
All right, right of freedom
Okay.
is the second one, right? So we're doing 2 rights.
No. Right of freedom is the first one.
Oh, okay.
The one where you're supposed to free Noxos, but can free whichever city you so choose.
I'm over
Over encumbered with pizza.
What have I done? Okay. Oh, I'm so exhausted.
Well, here's on the plus side. If you run out of stamina, you can always eat some food. You've got some on you. Although that will require throwing a pizza afterward.
Oh, shoot.
Oh boy. I really felt good about this until I remembered that each dagger swings a pizza. What if I got 200 rocks?
Oh my! Wait. So equipping can't count.
Yes, equipping is using the item, so yes, you'll have to throw a pizza.
But throwing unequips me.
Oh, right.
Oh.
I forgot about that detail. Okay, yeah. Equipping via hotbar, I'm going to say, does not count as an action.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Right of
Twitch
freedom.
chat, workshop a Little Caesars joke for me as we attack these Roman invaders. I can't think of one right now as I'm doing all this other pizza nonsense. Oh boy.
I picked the wrong village.
Oh no.
I opened the door.
Oh no, he's through the dagger.
I am enjoying seeing the overwhelming
Quick, where do we learn magic and also
confluence of requirements here.
Oh man. Knock, 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 knock.
Oh no! What have I done? I really needed more healing pills for this. Okay, you know what? I am starting this over.
Literally starting over.
I have made many mistakes. Oh god, my head hurts.
Oh, that's not a lot of damage. Okay, all right. I've realized there are things that have to be done differently.
Yeah, I know how I'm gonna do this different.
I will say it does look like the bank robbery is going much faster the second time. He's getting up his important pizza throwing skills.
2. 25. 25, 8.
Lemming starting over as well. Yeah, Right of Freedom gets way more complicated whenever you have to stand still and let them hit you a lot more than normal.
25, 87. 25.
Yes.
It was still in midair.
I appreciate David taking the time out to throw the pizza specifically at the painting on the wall.
Okay, let's take this in a bit of a different direction. Oh wait, I walked out a door. Whoop.
Let's talk about pizza throwing mechanics in this game. They seem to follow the same awkward trajectory that rocks do, for one. Unfortunately, unlike rocks, and despite the fact that they cause you to unequip your weapon, they don't do any damage. So, no beating up your enemies by throwing pizza pies at them.
Which is such a
Otherwise, this would
tragedy.
be easier.
It really is. Like, particularly, I expected the pepperoni and jalapeno pizza to do some fire damage, but nope.
No, we're throwing them at Miller. It has no effect.
However, one fun fact about throwing a pizza is if you hit the escape key to pause the game while the pizza is in the air, the pizza just keeps spinning in midair wherever it was at the moment that you pause the game. If you let it spin in the air for like 30 seconds, poof, just gone.
You don't have anything. good
Okay,
to
you
do.
got some equipment purchasing going on.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan. Buy a good weapon. Magic
Oh
dagger?
wait,
No.
does he have a spear available?
Yeah, Folus's weapon list expands by quite a bit once you actually enter the rights of
Yeah,
rulership.
look at that. Okay. Oh wait, no. Here's my boy. All right.
Magic spear.
I bought the magic dagger, and I was like, this feels not.
If
like...
your face is right up next to Folus and you throw a pizza away from him, the pizza gets caught on the ceiling of the
about that,
of
but
the
my game
weapon
loves to
shop
crash
because
around
they
that
were
full
that
zoom up.
detailed on the geometry of the 3D geometry of the areas that cannot possibly be explored in a 3D fashion and weren't drawn in a 3D fashion. It's pretty amazing.
All right, we have more healing pills than I have pizzas to toss after using a healing pill. Should be sufficient.
200 healing pills. I'd like to point out that in order to use
taking no
200
chances.
healing pills, you would have to have 200 pizzas to pair with them.
I do legit worry about running out of pizza before I do this.
Okay, we're now 12 and a half minutes into this particular task, and
I'm scared this is still not going to
pizza
work.
is
We'll
still
find out.
splattering the area. Trina, will you marry me? Throws pizza.
Okay.
No, I don't want to go there. Wait a minute. I walked out the gate. I don't remember throwing a pizza, but I can't be too
Oh, yeah,
sure.
let me throw a gate pizza. Donk. Oh, I
Okay,
forgot to
so
enter
both
the
of them have
stupid
returned
right.
with the superior weapon. Lemming has gone with magic spear. David has switched to the magic sword. This
forgot
will
that I
reduce the
reloaded
number
it
of
before.
swings they have to perform, which will reduce the number of pizzas they have to throw. Yeah, if you just click on the sword and click on an enemy, that will actually cause a punch to happen, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that is how it works.
About to actually get the right. Here we go.
David's out of stamina while he's trying to fight. He may have to eat a pizza.
Oh,
David
no.
has fallen.
Yeah, that was a little much there.
So it looks like the
Let's try
both of
that
them
again.
have fallen into a pretty simple logic trap here. Whenever you are playing this game as any normal, sane human being, you purchase a bajillion healing pills because drachma per drachma, they are so much better than healing potions. And you can use them instantaneously. So why would you ever buy a healing potion? And the reason you would buy a healing potion, of course, is because every healing potion is one pizza. And every healing pill is one pizza. So there we go. We finally have a use for healing potions. Brother to Drummer does bring up a good point. I do hope you guys have taken your delivery man stance and knocked on the door as you were entering to fight these Hessian mercenaries in the Right of Freedom here. It looks like David has managed to defeat one of the enemies, so some forward progress. Starting to get his micro down. Having to run across the room to buy enough time to throw pizzas because the pizza throwing animation does keep getting interrupted.
Shoot.
One stab, throw a pizza. Eat a pill, throw a pizza, eat a pill, throw a pizza. One stab. Basically seems to be the order of the day here. This game's combat engine only sends 2 enemies your way at a time. So the amount of stuff coming your way doesn't actually change as you are killing enemies until they're all almost down.
No. What? What have I done?
Have you gotten yourself stuck in a corner?
No. They're stuck. They're the ones who are stuck. Oh,
okay.
darn it. He backed away.
Well, if there's... I think they got stuck on the corpses, or maybe their feet just got stuck on all the pepperoni. Okay, one more hit, it looks like, and there we go. David has done it.
That can't have worked.
At least as far as the battle. Still needs to return home and still needs to throw pizza and still over encumbered with a ridiculous amount of pizza. I hope they tip him well.
They were hitting each other as I was running around.
Yeah, that
They
was
did
my
more
thought
damage
too.
No. Leave me.
Wound up in a room with a basket there. Aha! Lemming has found an interesting situation. Unfortunately, can't actually retrieve the dagger to throw it again. You know, if you had a whole bunch of rocks.
I know. They're one weakness.
Oh, I talked to Wolfie.
Accidentally talked to Wolfie, so accidentally had to splatter him with pizza.
Oh, get your bows out. What are you doing? How dare you? Oh no.
All right, and that I believe is victory for David.
Just grab the chest that way.
And he completed this task in 20 minutes or less. So it isn't free.
I give up. I'm just trying to break the game at this point. Strafing will save me. Oh, man.
So,
all right.
An interesting consideration for this particular task is which of the towns do you choose to fight in? Usually it really doesn't matter because you're just casting a frostbite and they're all dead, right? Or worst case scenario, you're stutter stepping your swings of your weapons so they die like immediately. but the exact geometry of the room actually matters a lot here while you're trying to buy yourself enough time to survive the ridiculousness that's going on.
All right, I would say if David's turned in the quest, we should probably move on.
Yeah, it's been 20 minutes. Your time's up. You wouldn't be getting any credit for this task anyway.
Keep the credits in tatters.
All right. So that is your Atzamore task completed.
Wow.
Unreal.
Oh my god.
Okay, let me pull up my notes, see what's next in the
Easy.
line.
You're not going easy with these ones. No. Let's celebrate Quest for Glory 5 to its fullest.
I honestly think what I would have done looking back is, and this would have taken half an hour, but just buy 2 magic daggers and then item dupe them until I had like 50.
You have to throw a pizza with each item dupe, though, right?
It would be worth it. Oh.
But you could dupe your pizzas. Maybe.
Picking up rocks does not cause any special, like, dialogues or whatever. Okay. All right. So, looks like I pulled up my next task for you guys here. And the title for this one is kind of a classic, but it's a bit of a twist on the concept. This task will take up to 12 minutes. You guys can end it early if you like. The name of this one is Elaborate Death Messages. In this task, with a 12-minute time limit, your goal is to select one death message to present to me, the Taskmaster. Once you both have made your selection, or you would get disqualified if you didn't make a selection in 12 minutes, at that point, the player who has presented to me the death message that has the highest word count is the winner. You will be starting from a new game. You may select whatever difficulty setting you want on the slider, and you can die in whichever way you can manage to figure out how to die. If you want, you can start whichever rights of rulership you want, but in any case, just show me a really wordy death message. Make sense? Any questions?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm just gonna.
Hey, does Minos' death message count?
I would say his death message is simply, I am your doom. So I don't think that one's gonna win. Lemming really wants to steal from this bank today.
Yeah, I'm just going to look through a few of my options here and then figure out which one I want to present.
Death messages are a Sierra classic. All of the point-and-click adventure games are known for having a bajillion stupid ways that you can wind up getting killed. And most of the time, they'll have a unique little quip that goes your way. In this game, They kind of have a bit of poetry to them most of the time. A lot of them either are limericks outright or just kind of seem like it. Can you die that? You can die that way! Wow! Not that long of a death message, but that's pretty good.
I don't think I'm keeping that one.
Whoops, sorry, I quit out of the entire game by accident. We get that back up in a jiffy.
Your stream has been replaced by DavidTKI's icon.
He is iconic. All right.
Guybrush Threepwood, DavidTKI is not.
No, that one's not very many words.
All right, sorry about that, Kurt. Hopefully it went back okay.
Let's see, I do need to press a button to make that happen. I just need to bring up the page for me to do that, and we're back.
A dinosaur's tail. Three minutes in, and I've taught you a new test.
How are we doing on time, by the way?
You're
We're back
currently
3.5
3 minutes
minutes.
and 30 minutes in. If you like, you can spend up to 8.5 more minutes exploring.
Cool.
So I did not actually carefully investigate what the longest death messages here were. So it is possible that it could turn out that the best answer isn't all that exciting a one, but we'll find out soon enough. A little bit of exploration.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
All the way
trying
down
to
there.
swim without the swimming skill has a weird animation.
I think it's going swimmingly.
Literally, it's not.
Look, I think reaching in every single direction is a perfectly. Oh. Mm.
Looks like we have a cutout from that stream again. Okay, back on. Not sure why it cut out for a moment, but we're back.
Didn't miss anything too exciting.
All right, we're now halfway through the time limit.
Ow.
Yeah, it does
I need
seem
to
like a
go-
lot of the more interesting ones have pretty short messages so far.
Yeah. I need to do a little comparison between two of them right now.
Too many big words in that one, I think. So for anyone not familiar, right now Lemming is doing uh, uh, the glitch that allows him to go to the very end of the game pretty much immediately, and trying to figure out if there's anything unique or special there. Brainiac has been scanning through the transcript, which he actually has lying around. I will be curious to see what the longest one is, if you can share that once we're done here. Oh, you just know where the file is. Okay. Oh, right, yeah. All right, here comes Minos'
As long
death
as you know
message.
the words.
You think you have won, do you? You are mistaken. I will not be defeated. I will destroy everything and you both will die. I hold the prophecy stone in my hands. When it breaks,
If this were for number of deaths, I'd probably have this in the bag. As it is.
Oh yeah, he's been putting on a smorgasbord of ways to die.
no one can stop me. I am your doom.
Oh, you can't save here. That's unfortunate. All right.
Um, all right.
Okay, we're now at 9.5 minutes in, so 2.5 minutes remain. Brainiac says there are two 40-word messages in the...
Well, that didn't work.
Splat.
Nope.
Oh, 41. He says.
Oh, shoot. Someone off screen.
Yeah, practicing magic in the middle of town square is dangerous.
I must go now. My planet needs me.
No, it's not too bad.
He's got to come back eventually.
They're just stabbing the air underneath you.
Darn.
Were they still connecting with you?
Maybe. I'm going to stop with this one then.
Okay.
I can't find anything with more words.
Okay, you've got 1 minute, 15 seconds to...
All right. Yeah. Let's go with the tried and true here then.
Unfortunately, I'm hearing the possibility of a tie here. Yeah. A little bit of a bummer, but that is the risk I run whenever I'm just trusting the game to create an experience for me.
Well, it sounds like David put on a good show.
Yep. All right. Yep. We did get to see a wide gamut of the death color space here. So yes, we have ended with both of them declaring that friends will cry and maidens weep. Your hero is in the grave asleep. You may yell and you may roar, but better if you click restore. The moral's plain, the old refrain. Frequently just save the game. So, Fosu Brainiac can let me know what that 40-word message that he found was and how, if he happens to know how it is triggered. Let's see. Time was of the essence. The dragon would arise. Nothing could stop it if it took to the skies, and nothing did stop it. You could not end its flight, and Silmaria now weeps in defeat at its plight. Wow.
So
Lemming was so close. All he had to do was not die.
I thought it would be the same message as the pre-pillar dragon.
Yeah,
well.
apparently not.
Good to know.
Yep. Okay. Looks like OSU's gonna... Brainiac's going to spread some of the rest of the knowledge while I get things set up for our next task. I was thinking the death message thing would be a nice little relaxing reprieve. You basically can't screw it up, right? Because you're trying to get your character killed. So I was going to do that to spread out the two tasks that I thought were probably the harder tasks overall. So we are heading into another task here.
Wrong one.
Where you will be needing to load from a save file. In this task, your goal is going to simply be to defeat the general in the Rite of Conquest. And is going to be starting you right on the island of Sifnos, which is, already started, and the music will kick in basically the instant that you encounter an enemy. So, what makes this task tricky? Well, during the course of this task, which I am titling 3D Tank Controls, once you click the load game button for the tank controls save file, after that point, you are not to touch the mouse.
I had a hunch.
It's a classic from... Oh, wait. Hang on. What's happened to my layout? Oh.
So
one additional person has joined the chat, which generally I feel pretty good about, but unfortunately... that does mean I would have to totally recrop everything because of how Discord works. Can either ATM Machine or OSU Brainiac please disconnect from the voice chat? Thank you very much, and I'm really sorry about having to ask for that. Just silly technical issues with how we're doing the restream here. Okay, so this is 3D Tank Controls, and we will be getting things started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I have provided you with a bottom bar that has a reasonable... Well, no touching the mouse, Lemming. You're getting information just by moving it around, even if you're not clicking.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I have prepared you guys with a fair amount of stuff that is probably... Oh, crap, hang on. Hold it. I have forgotten something very important.
Yes.
Hit escape. Take that mouse again. Click the controls panel and whisk that game difficulty to max. That was pretty key to this challenge. The stuff I put in the inventory is massive overkill otherwise. Okay, So,
Do you want me to reload?
go back to the load screen, and then we will restart the task in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, a couple hiccups getting this task started, but now we're off. So, this game operates on tank controls, as we mentioned a little bit ago.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with that centaur.
There are a bunch of ways you can try to make fighting go a little bit better. But just aiming and attacking your enemies can be quite tricky whenever you're dealing with the messy, turn on a pivot and then move forward and backward stuff. In the Rite of Conquest here, you need to defeat a certain number of normal enemies in order to cause first one, then another boss to appear. This time, they don't have to throw any rocks, and in fact, they can't, so that much is easier. And they do have reasonable weaponry, but still a little tricky.
Aha. For some reason, I thought that was the hide spell.
All right. We do have a fair number of enemies falling here. Like we have Lemming approaching the wizard. The wizard is actually quite strong. He is also resistant to elemental and most magic damage. He is vulnerable to boom. If you can manage to make it land with its default distance, and if you can sort of avoid blowing yourself up as a result.
No. Crow, the game doesn't want me to play this way. It crashed.
Oh, well, let me know once it's back up, and I'll get it booted up again.
All good. Yeah, we should be good to go here.
Oops, that is not what I meant to do.
That hurt.
It's still high and it's not, so.
I have just screwed up the layout and I don't remember how to fix. Oh, there we are. Grid. There we go.
Hey, Hero, the stairs are right there. Hero.
Yeah, going up the stairs is pretty easy, but going back down is ridiculously difficult. You really have to thread the needle here. And it is not at all clear where that needle, where the eye of the needle is. You can go back down, but you will have to try.
Oh my gosh, come on.
And of course, the wizard just keeps running away after you deal it a bunch of damage, so then you have to run up and down the other stairs.
Up and down and all around. Na, 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 na.
So the spells that they have been granted access to here are Protect is the one on slot 3. Zap increases the damage of your next attack considerably. And Boom. Also Force Bolt. Force Bolt's probably the easiest one to aim here if you actually want to use that. The hero in question is actually a warrior. Magic stats aren't super high.
No, he's coming after me. No. Oh, God,
Blocking the
he's attacking
stairway.
And he's hacking at my feet.
They know.
No.
They know what the real goal here is.
Ow, my feet. Ow, my feet.
Or Legos incarnate. Okay, come on. Excuse me. There we go.
He backed away. Okay. Shoot.
This is how the Romans were so successful. Little itty bitty side steps. There's no counter.
I suppose one solution would be to just let the general path his way up.
Looks like that's the one I'm going with here.
See, the general has the power of the mouse.
Remind me, my goal is to kill the general.
Yep. Brother to Drummer suggests that you throw a pizza to distract him.
And he's dead.
All right. That's a win for DavidTKI on that one.
Lost track of how many Romans I've killed. Okay, let's take a peek. Okay, yeah.
You know, that's not a good thing to be saying out loud. I've lost track of how many Romans I've killed.
They know what they did.
So you have to
What
be
are the
really
Romans at?
careful when you're
Shut
fighting the wizard. Those lightning balls are ridiculously powerful. And does your game just keep crashing every time it tries to restore?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. If you click the restore key, because your computer never actually made this save file, right? You never actually entered this room.
That could be it, yeah.
Did I break my stream?
No, I think we're good.
I'll
It's
give it
just
one more call
Lemming's
here.
game keeps crashing every time he winds up falling here.
That's really weird.
You know, it's interesting. I had a much worse time killing the minions this time. They were going down a lot faster before. I wonder if I'm
Oh,
like...
darn it. Darn it.
Yeah, okay, now we're back to it. There we go. Back to what I was hoping for. That's right, use your bow.
No.
Yeah, the enemies will periodically defend. If that happens, there is a different sound effect whenever you hit
Yeah,
them.
you know, I was actually trying to get slick and do animation cancel, but the act of not spamming, they take the time to equip their most annoying weapons. So back to dagger spam it is. That good? Yeah.
Watch out, you're blowing yourself up too.
Oh. Whoops.
Blast radius for Boom is pretty wide.
In my defense, I usually use this handy dandy peripheral when I use Boom. It's pretty exotic, but it's great for runs like this. It's called a mouse.
Huh.
I can
Tell
actually
me
throw the
more
boom
about
away
this strange
from...
device.
I
Is
know.
it all the rage?
Well, it's kind of OP because then like Boom also doesn't hurt you, and obviously it was intended to just be a you know, collateral damage type of weapon.
So just to make sure you're aware, normal weapons do damage the wizard. You don't have to use Boom if you don't want.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Frostbite does not work on the wizard.
All right, we'll do some old-fashioned stabbing.
Well, more like stab and chase. You'll be doing a lot
This is
of
the initial appeal
trying
of
to
Boom,
figure out
you
how to go
know?
downstairs.
A little more damage for my buck here. Ooh, got down those stairs like a champ. Never been at this wall before. And not since I played this casually. Okay, yeah, ladder won't work. Find a stairwell somewhere. Ah, there it is.
I still could not beat my foe, the stairs.
Come on. Let's see if I can get him this way. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Where's a shot?
I like the idea.
Oh no, you have to leave. Thank you. All right.
Juking the normal enemies by going way around them.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, it's the wizard down. Just one
Okay.
more enemy to go.
Hopefully I didn't over healing pill myself here. Oh, what are you doing? Hurry up. Climb. Climb.
Yeah, David had kind of the same thing going on there. People just filing up. through
Oh,
the stairs.
hey. All right.
Whoa! Those are some wide stairs.
You know, I really prefer the charm of the original stair quest. The sequel is not very appealing. All right, there we go.
All right, there we go. So we had 11 minutes, 10 seconds there for that completion. And that is the completion of our keyboard quest for the day. You can always expect something like that anytime I'm running the game. And I've got a couple more faster tasks for us to round things out with today.
All right.
So let's go ahead and, since we already have the skill slider maximum, let's do the other task that requires the skill slider to be maximum. So this one is called Round and Round. You'll be
Shoot.
starting from a new game, not from a load this time. And the task this time is to unlock the 3 in a row game in the Dead Parrot with the difficulty slider set to maximum. Okay?
All right.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Do we have people actually bothering to put time into the throwing stat there?
I don't know if it actually affects it, but
Honestly, I don't know either.
I don't think anyone knows anything about this game.
that's where you're wrong. I have played this game quite a lot. I don't know it as extensively as the rest of the series, but I still know it pretty well.
Well, that and also I, for the life of me, could not name any of the Dead Parrot in games. It's been possibly a decade.
I am intrigued by David's course of action here.
I want to be sure I have enough money. I don't want to risk
It's
it
not
out.
that expensive to play the catch a color game. If you happen to be playing as a thief, you will actually get a little chime whenever you have unlocked the game in question. Whoa. That is not correct. Lemming, that looks way too slow. Oh, yeah. Make sure your difficulty slider is at max.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, sorry. It's been doing that even when you reload. Okay.
I also figured since I need it to be night anyways, I would just make sure I have
There
some
you
extra
go.
cash for
There
it.
we go. Yeah. Now this is fine.
So, this game has the name of the game for Catch a Color is you're supposed to hit the same color with all 3 daggers on each of the 3 reels. So if you're throwing just blindly, you effectively have 1 in 9 chance of that happening. If you throw your first dagger, and then if the next two just hit a random color on the appropriate wheels.
All right, you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Almost beat it again.
David just daggered the parrot.
He said I missed
I like
my
his
mom.
thinking.
One of the big gimmicks here is that depending on how long you hold the mouse button before letting go, the dagger will fling itself either really far below the cursor and it'll take a long time to get there, or above the cursor and it gets there quickly. So it's a matter of trying to time when you start throwing in order to make that happen. Another frustration with this game is sometimes it's hard to gauge which color you actually hit, right? If you're right on the line, the game knows whether it was red or yellow, but you often just will not. Okay, we got 1 win for David. Each time you win, the wheels start spinning just a little bit faster. Hey, second win in a row. Impressive.
Oh, darn.
Whoa.
Oh, neat.
Got a little lucky on that second throw for David, I think. And I think that's going to be it.
So that's the unlock then? Just have to win 3 times?
I believe so. So just go ahead and... yep, there you are. 3 in a row unlocked. So that was about 4 minutes, 15 seconds on that one.
This is just my Astro Chicken nightmare all over again.
20 years ago, played this thing a lot because it was a really good way to get 2,000 drachmas without a minute of time passing. You.
Right, game time is frozen. So, my strategy for this game, because it's a little hard to gauge where exactly the dagger is going to land, is I'll target the middle reel first. Then the outer reels are easier to specify which of the colors you're trying to hit.
This is inexplicably worse than when Kara made us do max difficulty cranium maze. Okay, I don't think I've quite memorized this one yet. Nope.
Did someone say stair quest? I got 7 Google alerts. Shoutouts to Decap Jedi.
Ah.
Polly gets another dagger.
Ah!
It's not where the wheel is, Lemming. Don't you know you're supposed to throw pizzas in that direction? Okay, that is 2 red, so you basically have 1 in 3 shot now. Nope, Polly decides that's a blue in the middle.
I didn't feel good about that as soon as it went out. Okay.
Oh, come on. So the 3 in a row game is actually like considerably worse than this one. Um, the goal in that one is to stop the wheels at the exact moments where they are exactly lined up with each other. And I mean exactly lined up with each other.
Yeah, I don't like doing 3 in a row.
It is pretty absurd.
All right, Parrot, you reminded me of 3 in a row. You get it?
All right, we're getting worse somehow, so that's good to know. Oh, there's a power slider here.
Yeah. The
Interesting.
longer you hold the button, the more or less power you have in the throw. If you throw hard, it goes above where the cursor indicated. Except when you aim at Polly. In that case, it just kind of does its own thing.
That's okay. I have a way to aim at Polly.
Yeah.
I just have to imagine that that's actually Cedric.
All right, I'm calling that
Hey.
a consolation prize.
Okay. Lemming does
Spare
at least
the
get
screen, the
a
rest of the
victory.
wins.
Okay. That's enough of that mini game. So let's go ahead and continue our exploration of obscure game mechanics. And let's talk about the next task, which is titled Get Over Here.
So that's going to be a load then?
Yep. So this one is going to be a loaded game. Fetch Quest is the name of the save file. You can do whatever you want with the difficulty slider for this one. Once you have loaded the game, your goal is to use the fetch spell to fetch 4 unique items. Unique as in different from each other, not unique as in there's only one in the game. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So 4 different items, fetch them using the fetch spell. You can begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And you have left us this convenient balloon here. Well, let's start with that one. That's one.
So this save file has just acquired the balloon. So that's the overall game state. And you can figure out what other things are and aren't around from there. I like the idea from Lemming's side, but nope, that one is not fetchable.
Would you believe? I don't think I've ever used the fetch spell in this game.
I can believe it.
I'm a wizard, aren't I? Yep. Do I? Yeah. I have an idea, but I don't like it.
Okay. David has managed to fetch another item. Hey! Item grabbed by Lemming. There's another one.
And I think that might be it.
Three. I am a wizard.
Santa
can hear
Claus,
the
the
message.
4 next to David's name was referring to the number of tasks that he had taken
Bro,
first
I'm being a
place
little bit of
in.
a stinker
And
about
that had
this, so I'm gonna
actually
get a
not
ruling
been
from you real
updated.
quick.
What did
What
you
was
say?
that, Lemming?
3.
You're up to 3?
Depends on how Crow wants to rule that last one.
What did you fetch? I didn't catch it.
I took an item out of the chest, yeeted it onto the ground, and then
Oh.
fetched it.
Yep, that counts.
I'm going to continue with my original idea as if I didn't hear that. But that's going to take me like 2 minutes.
All right, well, there's number 4.
There you
Oh.
go. Yep, that's the cheater way to win. There,
Hooray!
I
That's
have.
the only way I know how to play this game is cheating.
Yeah, the balloon is a distraction. The way this game works basically, certain items are inventory items that are out and about on the world. Any items that are coded that way can be grabbed with the fetch spell. The beehive, for example, did not work because the bee's wax is not what you see
this
there.
area is
It has to
wooded,
be
then
the
that's never gonna
item's
work.
own image,
Well,
model.
next question: how much of Hydra Island did you actually loot?
Well, my
For
original idea was
reference,
there might be enough stuff there, and
yeah.
I was one short, and that's where I got my cheater idea.
Yeah, so for reference, this file was created using a practice save from a Wizard 100% run. So the things that run would have taken have been taken.
You would count this, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'm counting that.
How many have you gotten now, David?
That's my 4th item.
Okay.
One rock, Proof of Destiny, Black Lotus, and then Drachmas in Hydra Island.
There you go. You can also just drop drachmas from yourself. That works too.
Yeah.
I got bored and started item duping, but all of my duped money fell in front of the chest. Now I can't see it.
Excuse me? Let me. Oh.
All right. So it looks like we do have a little bit of time before 11 o'clock rolls around. You guys up for another task?
I suppose
got
one
that.
more short one.
Okay, let me look at my other notes here.
A quick one, or one that David will finish quickly, and I can goof around. Either or.
Okay, so this one was actually a win for Lemming.
On the board, baby.
Yep, on the board.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
rare, but sometimes I do lose. So, not rare, uncommon.
Okay, so for the final task of the evening, let's do it this way. My notes say that this is supposed to be a 20-minute timed task, but we'll just shorten it to 12 minutes because that's how long it is before 11 o'clock, and we'll just say that's our cutoff time.
Okay.
So, I have titled this task Everybody to the Limit. And in this task, you'll be starting from a new save file. You can start as whichever class you want. Your goal is, within the time limit, to cause as many of your stats as possible to reach 500 or more. I'm not counting spell expertise. And if there's a tie between players, then the tiebreaker will be whoever has the highest individual skill. If someone went significantly above 500, since that's a thing in this game.
So, question.
Yes.
As different classes, the cap is 550 for certain skills.
Correct. What counts
Just
is 500 or more. If you achieve over 500 or 500, doesn't matter which. Doesn't matter which class you are either. Any other questions?
That's all.
All right, let's get things started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
500 swimming. Let's go.
And I am going to count honor as a stat for these purposes. All right. I do wonder if making use of what is clearly an archery range, it has any benefit in your throwing training rate.
I have to assume no. But you never know. Sometimes this game surprises you.
23.
A lot of the times, this game surprises me, quite frankly.
It's 43.51.
This is definitely a free-form
43.
task here.
43.51.76. 43.51.
We have David going into the Thieves Guild here. Thieves actually gain access in this game to a special pickpocket skill. If I recall, you can't even... you can't have it at all heading into the game, so it's going to start pretty low if you're going to train that one.
I have an idea. This is going to be really silly. I'm hoping this raises a lot of other stuff with it.
Got some kung fu fighting going on here. That. Wow, that's a stamina draining action that doesn't have you leave the dialogue box at all. Huh. Is there anything else like that in this game?
I don't know. Oops. Wrong one.
Sure, just pound on the door right after you spent like 30 minutes lockpicking.
Door's locked.
They're gonna think someone's coming to the door to throw pizza at their face. Don't tease them.
No. Hero, stop.
Alright, gonna venture.
Wait, could I do this?
Okay. Like the runners have arrived at a similar location. One of them has found a better technique than the other. There we go. Interesting. Stats being trained here aren't what I was expecting.
Oh. Is this what I was supposed to be doing here? Yeah, that's more like it.
Okay, we got some kickboxing, we got some spasming going on now. And if I know anything about Quest for Glory, spasming is a great way to get buff. I do like how there's some variation in the spasms because the there's multiple animations that it just randomly selects.
None of this should be working.
This game in general feels a little less inclined to help you out with speedy stack grind exploits. I mean, David clearly found something key mashy, but that's like very much the exception.
Mm-hmm. This game also doesn't really push you to grind your stats nearly as often, right? There's like a hard stat cap, a stat threshold you have to reach in order to do the thief way to climb up the mountains near the Pegasus. And that's like the only hard stat check I can even think of.
There's one for lock picking the bank door.
Okay. But you have that much lock picking at game start if you're a default thief, right?
You have you're 50 shy of it, but you know that's a pretty modest bump.
Okay.
I know because I should have taken 50 points for this character. He's just gonna kick his way to victory.
Okay, at this point we are 8 minutes 25 seconds in. You guys have another 3.5 minutes to go.
Oh.
Got some. Is that stair stepping going on there? Pilates, maybe?
I love how the hero is just kind of bleeding out all over while he's doing his thing. I'm actually not sure that this can get me to 500 in this stat before the time limit hits.
Well, you've got 2.5 minutes to find out. 2 minutes 20.
No, it's not going up fast enough, so I'm going to do something different. 2 minutes. I can either go for throwing, which
Oh. I've never seen
don't
this
know if
screen
it will
before in
help.
my life.
I have seen it once before, and it is so weird. And it's actually, yeah, like that. Isn't that wild that they bothered? Isn't that just insane that they bothered?
I don't know what screen you're referring to.
It's
If
in the
you-
most unimportant spot imaginable.
If you click on the archery range target, it brings you to a close-up, which is actually live rendered. If you have gotten any daggers to stab into it, the daggers are drawn on there and can be retrieved by clicking on them. Nothing even vaguely similar to any of those interfaces exists anywhere else in this game.
One of a kind game engine.
Yeah, this is getting me better results.
David says as he trains strength.
Yeah, but this will get my vitality up there too.
You know what Foal should really sell? Some nice throwing rocks. Like real top of the line stuff.
Okay, you got 20 seconds. How fast can you throw those daggers? Pretty fast, as it turns out. Wow.
Hey, yeah, wow, it's like a chain gun. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
All right,
2, 1, and you're done. Let's see how everyone's results have come out. On Lemming's side, we've got agility at 521, luck at 500, acrobatics at 500. And that is all, I think. So that is
That looks like
3 stats that have been brought up to 500 or more. On David's side, we've got strength at 500, agility at 550, vitality at 500, luck at 500, acrobatics at 500, pickpocket actually managed to get to 500. How does that happen? Do you literally just spam click the dummy and that's it? That's it?
The door I was picking the lock on, that was raising pickpocketing, not lock picking.
What?
Wow, that's an interesting glitch. Okay, well, that
tried grinding lockpick on a
curious
door, it didn't work.
discovery
I
was
like, I'm doing it
not
wrong.
required for this, but it helped extend David's lead a little bit, and he does take this particular task. And I think that is all for the night. Those 7 tasks total. We've got... No, it was 8 tasks total. 1 was a tie, and Lemming won 1 other, and then David took the rest today.
Bro, thank you for every non-pizza related challenge. They were very thoughtful.
Oh, come on. Pizza's the best. I'll make sure to have you throwing rocks in all future challenges then. That make you feel better?
It was bad. Until someone mods some fire damage on pizza, the rocks are totally A-okay with me.
Who was the fellow that made the mod that would patch like Stable, Magnum, and Elsa as selectable characters in the game? Try hitting him up for that change.
I want to say their name was Ubipred.
That sounds right.
All right. Okay, well, definitely thanks for coming by here. This has been quite a bit of fun to watch. I hope it was as fun to play, at least when pizzas weren't flying across the screen.
Oh, no, that was fun. It was just frightening, terrifying.